Hey, Dr. Bill here. So I'm super excited to introduce you to a friend of mine I met a few years ago, right at the beginning of a career that is about to explode. And this guy is charming and intelligent and has worked so hard for this, and he'll explain to you what's going on. But for those of you who love watching Netflix, he's going to tell you about a new series that he'll be coming out on this Friday. So this is perfect timing. And before we start, I'm going to show you a little sizzle reel of some of Taylor Zachar Perez's highlights from his career. Let's roll.
Hey.
You two do go everywhere together.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. Anyway, we wanted to ask you something. We do this kissing booth at the homecoming fundraiser, and we were wondering if you'd be one of our kissers this year.
No.
Originally from South Chicago, Taylor Zachar Perez started out in musical theater before pursuing a career in television. You may have seen him on Young and Hungry, Nickelodeon's iCarly, or Awkward on MTV. Following these appearances, he landed the role of Marco in Netflix's The Kissing Booth. On July 24th, Perez will be joining co-stars Joey King, Jacob Elordi, and Joe Courtney to take on senior year at a new school and possibly cause trouble in Elle's relationship with Noah.
All right. How are you?
Hey, I'm great, Dr. Bill. How are you?
I'm good. You have to be like exploding at the seams waiting for Friday to happen, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy experience. I mean, I've been waiting for this to come out for almost a year now. I didn't realize how long this stuff takes.
And you know what? It literally becomes surreal. I remember when we filmed Extreme Makeover, and it was like the very, very first reality TV show in the beginning of reality TV. So, here I am, Dr. Bill, doing what I always do and blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, this show comes out, and literally everywhere I went, I'm in the store, I'm in the gym, I'm like, Dr. Bill, Dr. Bill. It was bizarre. It was really bizarre. So I can't wait till you start experiencing that. But let's just start at the beginning. How did you even get interested in acting?
My gosh, that was so long ago. So my sister, Maria, she was really big in theater when she was younger. She was always singing and dancing and acting. And so one Christmas, break, she was doing Annie, which is like a classic holiday show. And I think I went to like 25 of her performances. So after like the 25th performance, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then that following summer, my mom enrolled the three of us into the summer acting program, and I did like all behind the scenes stuff. So I was doing lights, and I was doing audio, and just backstage stuff. And then it slowly started kind of seeping in, like, oh, this is fun. I could do that. And so then I just started auditioning on my own at the other opera house, like around the corner, and just started working.
So, you started auditioning, but I'm sure you had to have training and coaching and all that. What did that look like for you?
I think training comes in a lot of different forms. Growing up, you do high school or community theater, or if you're lucky enough, you have like a coach in Chicago that, for me, like that you could go to. But when I first moved to Los Angeles, I was lucky enough to have a casting director that was a friend of my uncle's, and I said, can you just give me a list of people that you trust, that are great? So she gave me a list. I went to about 4 out of 5 of them, and I landed on Leslie Kahn and Company. And I love Leslie Kahn and Company because she teaches most all of her classes. She has a formula for, breaking down, analyzing, and it's a comedy school. So you learn a lot about comedy. And if you can master comedy, you're fine in drama because it's the exact same rules. You just, I think it's twice as hard to do comedic work. It's like Shakespeare. And so I was working at Leslie Kahn and Company. I became a teaching assistant. She asked me to do that. And then I went to UCLA, where I minored in TV film, but I majored in biochem and Spanish. I was kind of nonstop, which was amazing. So I was at Leslie's. I was taking these college courses. I was taking these, 4-day intensives with Larry Moss. And, it's really just like asking other actors that are better than you, like, where are you going? What's your program? How do you stay so good? And so I just never stopped asking questions.
So let's talk a little bit about, kind of what led up to where you are right now in your career.
Sure.
And I always love to ask actors, like, what was your big break? I know what your big break is. I'm not going to blow it. I'm going to let you tell them. But let's talk about kind of what you've done to now, and then tell them what's coming out on Friday.
Sure. I'm sorry. I set my alarm to make sure I didn't miss Dr. Bill, and it just went off. So, hey, I'm on with Dr. Bill. So I would say it was a long road. So I started in Chicago, acting and modeling. And so when I was like 15, I first started modeling. So I would, leave school early. I have passes from my mom, from the principal. I was actually put on the, some list that the kids that don't show up to school get put on, like one more and you're gone, like you're expelled, because I was gone so much working in Chicago. So I worked there for many years. And then after I graduated, I moved out to Los Angeles, and they hooked me up with another modeling agency. I had some meetings, and I got very lucky because one of my agents kind of sent an email out and said, hey, I have a manager that's looking for new talent. Are any of you guys interested? And I think I was 18 or 19 at the time. And I was like, heck yeah, like I'm down. So took this meeting. I think I was the only guy that took this meeting with this manager. We talked it out. And, I will say, I think I was a little too green to start auditioning. And my type got me in the door. My type got me into these audition rooms. And I learned fast that you can't just be, a handsome guy and work. Like, you really need to put in the time. So I enrolled myself in Leslie's. I enrolled myself in Larry Moss. I tried to do everything I could, rehearsing 3 hours a day with my group. And then we had class, once a week, twice a week. And I just kept building and building. And so I would work art department, which was like behind the scenes with my uncle on photo shoots and commercials. So that was like my day job that funded my dream job. I would go to university. I would, go to half the class, sign in and leave, and then get the notes later. And the teachers just wanted to kill me. But, I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew that I could do it all. So for years, I worked tirelessly working on the craft of acting, but also on the business side of it, and making sure that, I wasn't just putting all my eggs in one basket, getting a degree, going to school, going to acting class, and also like having a very strong friend group by staying like super focused. I didn't give up on fun. I think you still have to have all these experiences as an actor because you pull from them. It's like, it's so easy. Like if you've never been to a party, how are you going to know how to be in a party unless you're playing that character? So you just have to have a life too, which I've had a great life.
But
and I guess
before we announce what the big break is, what were the projects that you worked on prior to that? I mean, besides school and this and that and the other thing, like what kind of TV or movie things would some of our students recognize you from? By the way, there are 1,000 LEAP students watching you right now.
What's up, LEAP students? I'm super stoked that Dr. Bill created this foundation because I think it's awesome. And I hope you guys all get so much from it because, as an entrepreneur to another entrepreneur, it's, sometimes you need that extra push, the extra motivation. And for me, it was my dad that was, the extra push that wanted me to, get going. So I'm so stoked that you guys have LEAP to be that additional push in your life, to kind of lead you on that path to greatness and to keep working hard. So back to your question, Dr. Bill. So I started my first ever job was on iCarly. And so I don't know, I think the age range is 15 to 27. So I'm assuming some of you guys have seen iCarly. And I had this big meaty role, like 8 pages on a sitcom. And, usually they're like, 25, 30 pages. And so, then they're only 22 minutes long. So the day before I was supposed to book it, they were like, hey, we're cutting your role. Do you still want to do it? And so they go, you have one line. And I was so sad, but, I said, yes, let's do this. So I got to work with Miranda Cosgrove on this multicam, get hit in the face with a lemon and just pass out after I said like, hey, Carly, how's it going? And so that was like my first big moment, for me of like, wow, I'm here, I'm doing this in front of a live studio audience. Then I did ABC Suburgatory. I did, what else did I do? Young and Hungry on ABC Family. I did Cruel Intentions with Sarah Michelle Gellar, which was awesome. It was like the NBC pilot. It never wound up going, but it was such a cool, sexy show. Samantha Logan, Annie Winters, Taylor John Smith. It was awesome. And then I did this really awesome show that probably none of you have seen. It was on this show called Go 90, the station that Verizon was trying to make big, and Michael DeLuca was behind it, who does 50 Shades of Grey, and it was about these guys that are on the guys and gals that are on the political campaign trail with these to be presidential candidates, which was awesome. And so I got to learn. That was like my first real research project. So I got to read The Boys on the Bus, Fear and Loathing on the campaign trail. I got to call actual embeds that were on the Hillary. Oh my gosh, Hillary campaign, on the Trump campaign, on McCain campaign, like all of these people that were living what I was just going to go start doing, and living in Iowa and being, Iowa's an important state. So that was probably the most rewarding project I did, because I also made like really great friends on that.
All right. By the way, I've known Carly Chaikin since she was a baby. Her dad, Michael Chaikin, is a good friend of mine. He's a doctor in my building here. So I've known her since she was born. All right, so the big break happened, and why don't you tell them what you are going to be part of starting Friday, and then let's talk about how you got it, because this was not an easy deal. This was 2 months of solid auditioning and callbacks and auditioning and callbacks, but you won. You got it. So let's tell them what it is. Ready? Go.
All right, so July 24th, the Kissing Booth 2 premieres, and I play Marco, the new kid at school who has a very interesting relationship with Joey King, who plays Al Evans. So it was quite the journey. It was my first audition of the year of 2019, and I just got back from traveling from Africa. I did Tanzania. I hiked Kilimanjaro for New Year's. Did an awesome did the Serengeti, bush plane. Went to a wedding in South Africa. Came home. Had this audition that ultimately I get, and it's back in South Africa. So I think it was January 17th. My manager and agent, and these are the people that get your appointments, sent me this audition as if any other audition I get. And it said, please submit Eurovision, America's Got Talent, American Idol stars, or contestants. And so automatically I got, pretty insecure.
Well, wait,
and I'm
explain why, because
I'm not that.
Because this is not just an acting gig. You have to sing and dance and all that. So, they were looking for people that were actually known as singers and dancers and whatnot, right?
Totally. And so they wanted the guy, they wanted that rock and roller dancer singer. And so, so this movie I wouldn't call it a musical per se, but it has a lot of musical elements, which makes it so much fun. And if you saw the first one, it's all about DDM, Lee and Elle, competing on it. And that's kind of where their friendships began. And so with this one, they called me in. The first one was just a 2 or 3 scenes. I was there for 30 minutes, and the room was full of guys that I've seen for years. That were from all Brazil. They were Brazilian. They were Spanish. They were a lot of foreign actors that I knew from television, which was pretty cool. That I was oh, this is awesome. I'd be I've arrived. And so we started with those couple scenes. Then I had a director session the next day, and then I had to bring in a song. And then and they asked me to prepare some choreography. And then I had another audition, which was, I sang a couple songs, and we talked about more choreography stuff. And then I had one more. And then finally I had a chemistry read with Joey King. So that was the thing that sealed the deal. So before you get into this chemistry read, they give you the stack of papers, which is your contract. And they're if we like you and we want to go through with this, you have signed over you to us. You are ours if we decide to go with you.
So a lot of our students that are interested in acting may not really know, what's a chemistry read? I mean, I know it is, but can you explain it to our students?
Yeah. And so, when you talk about oh, you guys had great chemistry. When you're talking in the real world about, a couple or a couple to be, it's just like that. It's like coupling two actors and seeing how they look when you get them on screen. And, they're just the two of them fill up that whole movie theater. And so I was really lucky that I got called in and I was, well-versed with the script. And Joey Keane came in and she was just beautiful and sweet. And I remember she had like flowers in her hair and she was still growing her hair back from the act. And she had overalls on and she was just like a glowing ball of light. And she was just so willing and open to playing and doing the best job for me because, she had the job. She didn't have to be as supportive as she was. And, some actors aren't. So I was very, very lucky. The whole cast was so inviting, but especially Joey. So we were in there. We had, I think some Netflix executives were on the call. We had Vince and Michelle from South Africa who were there. They were there longer than we were there because they had pre-production. And then we had Gary Zuckerbrod, who was our casting director, in there. And, it was just a well-concerted moment, everyone taking notes from each other. And it was probably my most memorable moment. It was like, that was it. I had no idea. I was on the ABC lot, the Disney lot in Burbank. And, it's cool. I remember auditioning for so many projects there. You see the Mickey Mouse ears and you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm here. And it was a great experience.
Dude, I get that. It's almost surreal, right? You know, when we filmed Extreme Makeover, that was a reality show that was filmed in my office. So, it wasn't such a big deal for me. I'm sitting in my office, the crew's coming in, we're filming. Then when we started filming The Doctors, it's filmed at Paramount.
Right.
And you guys that haven't seen or recognized Paramount Studios from, there's a Netflix show called Hollywood Now that's out. It was all filmed at Paramount. They just made it look like, I think, Ace Studio or something. But it's like, for me, I would be busting up because it's like, here I am, just a dentist, walking into Paramount, the most famous studio in the world, to work, right? Like, I'm going to work.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Totally.
And this is one of the things I love about LEAP is sharing stories like yours with our students because, dreams do come true. But they don't just happen by themselves. It's hard work, it's dedication, it's really commitment, and it's not giving up. It's being tenacious. How many years has it taken you to really get to where you are now from the time you really started acting?
I'd say about 10 years of actual pursuit, of like professional pursuit.
I mean, that's a long time, for a guy who's a little over 20 years old, right? I mean, it's almost like half your life. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And, I think that today's society is so rooted in like immediate and spontaneous gratification, but it takes time to build these things up and to get there. So if you could wave a magic wand and really say, this is what I want my career to look like in 5 years, what would that vision look like?
Wow. Well, I've been writing a lot with my partners, and I really want to get one of those projects made. Those excite me. They deal with, former, like childhood trauma and, trying to grow out of it, but like, you bring it all back, you bring it with you into adulthood. So I'm really into exploring that. I'm so excited to do an action and comedy type of film, just like a high octane thrilling action film, but with tons of comedy. Because that's just one of my favorite things to do is comedy with other funny actors because, you just keep building off each other. And I also just want to use this platform for good. I really want to keep advocating for those that don't have a voice and keep interviewing and keep learning because I think we're at a time where, you just need to keep educating yourself so you can educate others. And so this world, we can just be just at peace, which is tough, but I think it's doable.
I agree. If I were a young student and I wanted to pursue a career in acting, what would be the advice that you would give to me right now?
I would say put the phone down, sit down, map out what you would like to be, just as you asked me, in 5 years, and how you're going to, commit to that. Every year, how are you going to grow, and keep going back every year and doing another 5 year, but still assessing that initial 5-year goal. I would say never stop going to class, never stop coaching, never stop asking questions, and commit. I don't think you have to go to school to be an actor. I love, I have many friends that went to the Yale School of Drama, and, they're a different level of actor. I know a lot of people that didn't go to school, and they're also a different level of actor. It just depends on what is right for you. If you need that strict dedication and at the university level because you can't really commit to yourself, go to school. But if you can commit to yourself and rely on yourself, and and source different friends who can help build each other's careers and write with each other and work that day job to fund your dream job, I say do it. And never stop having experiences, because the more experiences you have, the more human you are. No one wants just a perfect looking person, perfect acting person on TV. You guys love The Kissing Booth because Elle Evans is relatable. You love that Lee Flynn is relatable. You'll love that myself and Chloe are relatable in the show too. So just never stop learning and always ask questions. And, I think Leap's awesome for this. It's just like a refresher every year to keep goal setting.
Totally. I've interviewed a lot of young actors, and in your profession, probably the hardest thing that every actor has told me to deal with is the rejection. For every 20 jobs you get one. Yeah. How do you navigate through that? Because it's hard. It's hard to be told no. You get the big, but even Anthony Hopkins, probably one of the most famous and successful actors in our life, says to me when he finishes a project, he'll come in and go, "Doc, I'm unemployed again." I'm like, and he hates to be called Anthony. He wants to be called Tony. I'm like, "Tony, you're going to get another job. You never know, That's a hard thing. How do you deal with that?
It is. It's a toughie. But, I surround myself with really good, supportive friends. I have like a troop of friends that I've had for like the past, I think 7 or 8 years that, we went to Leslie Kahn together. We became TAs together. We are 100% authentic with one another. And if this audition is not working and you're not great in it, we're going to tell you. We're not going to, sometimes you go to a coach, you pay them and you're paying them to, be nice to you and tell you you're good. But you really need someone that's blunt, that say what they mean, but not say it mean to you. And, I love going to Leslie Kahn. I feel like this is a plug for Leslie, but I just, I feel like I just succeeded so much there. Because she calls you out on it. She makes you think before every line, every piece of dialogue is said. You're actually having a thought. She's forcing you to have a thought, which is, the inner monologue. But sometimes, like for me, I never understood the inner monologue, but I understood thoughts. I understood like the technical side of saying, what is my thought before this? Sometimes it's very robotic. So I just think hang out with optimistic, blunt people, because I think I'm one of those people that, if you ask me for advice, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I'm not going to say it mean, but I'm also like, I'm here to be, the wind beneath your wings and help you succeed. And if you can't deal with it, then maybe you're not cut out for this.
It's true. It's hard. It's hard. I always felt very fortunate because for me, my whole acting career was like a side thing. Like I'm a dentist. Whether I'm on TV or I'm not, I'm still a dentist. But when that's your whole life and your whole being, it's a lot of pressure, man. My hat's off to you for sticking in it for 10 years. And I wish you so much success. And we're so excited. I will definitely watch this. In a parting word, if you have any last word, and not about acting or whatever, just on life, if you want to give our students any last word on advice for success, let's have it.
I think get outside, stop staring at your computer or your TV or your phone, and just, like walk in the grass, get grounded with the earth and who you are, and never be ashamed of who you are, because that's the biggest the biggest thing in life, right? Is like self-acceptance, self-love. And if you can accept yourself and love yourself, you'll go really far, and you'll have less insecurities, and you'll just keep taking every barrier down that you think is there, and every goal that you set, you're going to do it.
Wow. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah.
Again, we wish you
Of course.
all the success in the world. I want all of you
Likewise.
students to promise to watch The Kissing
Please.
Booth on Netflix Friday. Watch the whole season, and then write really nice comments on social media so that the network can see
Yes.
what an awesome job he's doing.
All nice comments, please. Team Marco only.
Team
And,
Marco only.
Yeah, Team
All right?
Marco only.
I read a little bit about what his character is doing. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be fun to watch. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Team Marco, thank you so much. We're
Thanks,
over
Dr.
and
Bill.
out.